let's do the run through here. So we got our flash layer and our ambient bright, ambient dark, and then our ambient base. So we want to put some black masks on these three layers, and we're going to go ahead and do that by holding down Alt and clicking on the mask button. That's going to make a black mask on all three of these layers. Now we want to adjust this exposure. Now I've gone ahead and made some adjustments before in Lightroom, but I think we can get some more dynamic range out of this. So I'm going to bring the highlights down and the shadows up just a bit, and maybe the exposure just a little bit down. Press OK. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and make a lights 1 mask. And we're going to mask this on our dark layer. Looks pretty decent so far. We're going to make a darks 1 mask on our dark layer. Pretty simple so far, but this looks terrible, so we need to fix this. So let's go ahead and jump into the dark layer, and we're going to bring this up by 2 stops. And we're going to bring down the highlights, bring up the shadows, and then adjust the exposure. And I don't think we are 100% in the white point right here, so I'm going to bring that up to about 43. Cool beans, that looks much better now. Now let's go ahead and bring down the highlights, bring down the shadows. Oh no, sorry, bring down the exposure. So that's looking a lot better. Compare that to this base exposure and then that. We're looking pretty good. Now we can go ahead and jump into the flash layer. This one's pretty cool in that it takes care of a number of issues. For one, it takes care of the color, and it takes care of this blooming that we had right over here in this window, since it is a really bright window. The sun's just coming in right there. And we also got this really nasty dust spot. So let's go ahead and actually enable this. So I'm going to bring this into color, duplicate it, and then bring this into darken. So I basically split the layers into 2, so each of them is doing one thing very well. So this one's doing the color, and then this one's doing the highlights, and I think they're both really good. Not on their own, they still need adjustments. So I'm going to take our brush tool, and I'm going to bring the brush up to about there, and I'm going to paint away this area. Cool. That's all I wanted to do for that. As far as the color layer, I think I'm going to take all the color from that flash layer. And next we can go ahead and I know I want to do a sky replacement on this. So we will do that. We'll do it last. Let's say that. And I think we have a little bit of flashness over here now. Yeah, never mind. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and bring in this flash exposure down, and then bring that up, and then bring this down. Maybe not 100%. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get a little bit more color out of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now the exposure is looking a bit weird. I think this is too saturated. This is way too saturated. These look fine. And then we have this weird kind of color shift from when we changed this the flash layer to color. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words right now. So let's go ahead and fix that. We're going to go ahead and make a black and white adjustment layer. Bring all of these down just like so. And then we can bring up the yellows. Bring up the yellows to about -30. And I'm going to bring up the reds just a little bit, -50. Go to channels, make a selection. We can delete the black and white layer, but I'm going to choose to keep it there. And I'm going to bring in an HSL adjustment. Do not feather. And we're going to go to a single layer mask. And let's go to the master. Look at all that color cast issue. So let's go ahead and desaturate that completely. And then we can, to make this even stronger, we're going to go ahead and hit auto. And that just does a minor adjustment on the mask. As you can see right there, it's just a little bit stronger. But I still think we have some issues here. So let's go ahead and get a brush tool and paint white. It's a little bit too saturated. That's good. Okay. What else is bothering me? I like the way the yellows look, but I don't like the way the reds look. Let's go ahead and desaturate those. That looks weird. Does that look green to anyone else? Maybe it's just the way it is. I'm not sure. Okay. And I'm gonna desaturate that door because it's kind of bothering me. Everything else is looking pretty good. Colors are looking right. This area actually is looking too saturated. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring us a little brush stroke over that blanket. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as a whole, maybe a thumbnail size. I think this is looking really good. Let's change the brightness. So let's go ahead and bring in a selective color. Bring in a selective color, clip it to the HSL, and then we're gonna bring up the whites. Yeah. That just makes it way more punctual. Maybe bring up the neutrals as well. Do we want to go bright, or do we want to go like natural? I'm gonna go with like natural. Bring up the blacks. Sorry about that. Bring up the blacks. Bring down the blacks. Let's bring down the blacks. That looks good. Actually, no, I don't like what it's doing over here. Let's bring a mask in here. Okay. That looks better. What else do we want to do with this image? I think after all this, we can do maybe a contrast adjustment just in auto. And we're going to go here. And now per channel contrast. Find dark light colors. I like what this is doing, but I think it's a little bit too intense. So we're going to back that down. Next, I think we're gonna do that sky replacement. I don't think there's anything else that's jumping out at me that's weird. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna go ahead and make a selection out of this. We're gonna bring in a pen tool and make a selection out of this. Cool. Actually, hold on one second. Add that, whoops, add that, and then adjust it. There we go. It's a little bit curved right there. And then this one needs a selection as well. Bring that in. And I think that's looking, whoops. That looks better. Bring that down a bit. At a point here, because it's a bit curved. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and actually save that path as Windows. And then let's actually create the mask. So let's go ahead and make that a selection. And then we can jump right into color range. Just like that. Perfect. And then I'm gonna save the mask right here, just for now. And then let's go ahead and group all these. Let's go ahead and group that one as well. And group this, do not feather. Okay, that looks good. And invert that. So now we have a perfect place for our sky. Let's go ahead and bring that in. I'm gonna go ahead and place embedded. And I think there's gotta be a sky in here. Yeah, sky. I know this guy always brings in the same sky. So let's bring that in. Let's go bring that down. About right there. And then we'll bring it there. And that's looking pretty decent. I think we could feather this a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. Maybe it's a bit intense. Bring that into, actually I'm gonna create a levels adjustment so I don't affect this sky. Levels, clip it. No, I'm gonna go brighter. Yeah, there we go. Subtle change, but you know. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, cool. Now, what else do we want to do? Ah, TV. That's what's bugging me right now. TV is what's bugging me. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new group. Actually, we don't need a new group. Pen tool. Let's get the pen tool out. Make a selection out of this. And then we can adjust. Whoops. Created a new point on accident. Okay, there we go. That looks fine. Oops. Okay, right there. Let's save that path. TV. Make a selection. And bring in a new layer. Go to G for gradient. I'm gonna go to the black and white. And I'm gonna adjust this. So I'm gonna bring it up just a bit. So fade it just a little bit. And fade this one as well. So we got a little bit of a gradient. And let's start from here to there. Looks pretty good. But I think we need a little bit of grain on this. So let's go ahead and go to noise, add noise. I think 1 should do it. Okay. Looks pretty good. So some things that may be annoying to me. I don't like this blank space. I wish there was something there, but that's just not, about part of the editing. Look at it, thumbnail size, nothing's bothering me. This is a gray couch, but it's bothering me how blue this looks. Let's bring in another HSL. Go to the blues. Yeah, you can see it, it's blue. It's weird. Bring in the blue, or bring in a layer mask, I should say. And then just paint. Don't need to be too precise with this. Maybe a little bit more color in there. This is looking much better. Okay. Now I think we can just... I want to get rid of all these. My instinct is telling me to get rid of all these, but I'm not going to do it for this tutorial. That's bothering me. Okay. Get a new layer in here. J, and get that out of there. And that's gone. Okay, that's not bothering me anymore. Okay, that looks pretty good. See what we began as. That's what we began as, and that's our after. Let's finish this up. Control Shift Alt E. Stamp visible image. Sorry. And highlights and shadows. I'm just gonna pull the image in. Yeah. And then we're gonna go to sharp. And I always get not confused, but I always wonder like which one I'm gonna go with. I'll just go with a high pass. And we'll go with 1.5. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks good. And that's a good edit right there. Let's call that a day. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, advice, anything like that, hit me up with the comments. Reach out to me on Facebook, and I will see you guys in the next one.